Good day, humans. Good day, dear friends. Good day, very competitive and not so kind rest. Did you notice when somebody talks about humanity, he can bring any kind of competitive nature in their conversation? Or if they talk about corporation, is it reached the first place, second place? If they talk about the government entity, they're talking about GDP, taxations, and all the other truly crap that doesn't make human. We have been again tricked for so many centuries, living in despair for our life, living in despair to have a better place to sleep, to have more food, to have better clothes. Now in these modern times, to have better cars, to have larger boobs, larger penises, whatever, that we just not pay attention on the present moment where we sit or where we stand. So, title for today: Competition, a Sinister Teachings of Human Imperfection. Of course, everything is in the title. Writing is on the wall. You have nothing to say. Talking to myself, yet I'm still talking, because very little has been changed. Very, very little. Still the wars are trying to be broken in like 10 different places on the planet at the same time. Countries are intended to be crushed or divided or separated. Tribes to be forced on another tribe that they live peacefully for centuries. So this competition notion of not so human attribute is a key element in forcing one human on another. Where do you see this competition? Or let's say better, where you don't see a competition as a driving force in every aspect, we're just using a brute force to conquer somebody through competition. Conquering, it doesn't have to be always with the weapons, but we use it in the legal jurisdiction of Denise's new word, that we cannot be humans in the court because we're losing anyway. First of all, we gave our rights to these freaks of the lawyers or advocates who supposedly has to represent us as a human being, yet they don't represent anybody else but their own puny, greedy butt like ass. Doesn't matter, are you plaintiff or are you defendant, are you just observer on the side of the court bar, you are doomed because you start being abused as one of the competitors in this matter. Yet the benefits of your competition against somebody else are abused by advocates, by the judicial system. And on top of this judicial system, there is a creature who you all know as evil or devil or Satan. So this entity basically feeds on our interhuman competition. And lawyers and advocates and judges are just there to nicely guide us well, not so nicely, but nicely guide us that we lose completely our humanity. What are the situations or things that we compete for or against? When somebody is dying, what is saying? Oh, he lost his fight with the time. He lost his fight with his ancestors because his genes were not so pure. Maybe you don't need any genes, like genetic blueprint of the dark side from your ancestors. So why do you need this? Because you would not go in competition against your friendly human neighbor. Is it wealth that you competing for? Wealth like accumulated physical wealth, material wealth, houses, lands, money, bank accounts, gold, whatever crap that was through this very weird history of ours was kind of changed the shape, but the notion behind this, the energy behind this was always a competition. Why cannot one day say, my bread that I make will cost 10 rands, and next day I feel very generous, will cost 1 rand, or the third day I'll just decide it will cost nothing and I'll just give it as a gift. This was taken from us as humans, our free choice to do with our energy and our products, our creation, whatever we want. Basically, there is always some kind of overlay of creatures, scientific ruling oligarchies, or governmental Masonic substances of the dark who would tell you that you have to actually have a set price. And when you sell something by their set price, you have to pay a set tax or a fee for who knows what. So where this is leading, all of this behavior about the competition is leading into diminishment of your human spirit, that you're losing completely a freedom to do what you want to do with your energy, your creation. So as soon as you create something, it was just taken away from you, and it was kind of put in a trust of this evil entity, so you can approach it only by their own rules, even if it's yours, if it's your creation. Same with health. Why are we always competing to get better health? Why you cannot say that this is what you actually are deserving at the present moment? So the health is just an outcome of your wrong living, or illness that most of the humanity has. It's an outcome of the very, very wrong and judgmental living. When you're competing with somebody and you want to be first of whatever, are you judging everybody else? So they have to be less than you so you can be more than them? Consider this question: why we have been pushed in every single instance of our life to live a stressful and competitive and psychotic, bottom line, life. This is not life. This is just like a form of our emotional, mental, very, very stressful behavior. Simply to be easily controlled, to be under full influence of these dark magicians of the mind who basically have no soul. So they cannot relate, and they cannot teach you how to go into your heart and really recognize that you are the owner of all of your creations. You are the owner. Yes, you gave them away. You've been tricked to give them away. You've been losing them, doesn't matter, through addictions, through contract, through silent contract, to any kind of dark magic. Yet, what to do with this? Once when you recognize that you don't have to be a competitive anymore, then suddenly this stress and anxiety becomes less. You don't have to have a meat on your table every day. You can have no meat at all for every single day from now on, and you'll be much more healthier, less stressful, and much more human, because you're not consuming a product that are not really well, well digested by the humans. I'm talking about the animals' blood and fear and liquids and flesh, because they contain something that is very harmful to the humans. It contains a tremendous amount of fear that is just infusing you with constant competition and constant greed to have more than you had yesterday. So my question to you, would you like to turn this upside down so you don't have to have a competitive mind, that you don't have to have a mind at all? Why do we need a referees when the game is played? Who the fuck are these creatures? Why do we need judges in the court to tell us what we've done wrong or what we've done right, which is a very rare occasion, because they only point you to the wrong thing that you've done? And why are we so gullible to these advocates and lawyers to give our free choice and try to defend yourself by yourself, not give it your powers to the third party of the pure thieves? Because every lawyer, every advocate, every judge is nothing else but the thief who will put you in competitive state of mind where you really cannot survive. Your humanity will die in a matter of years, because you'll end up in a jail, you'll end up prosecuted, you'll end up freed, but with a huge debt to pay to these lawyers. So you end up screwed up no matter what. Well, there is a solution. So I hope somebody will ask, how? I'm talking about these solutions. Denise is talking about these solutions. Ron Amitron is talking about these solutions. Trump is trying to give you these solutions, but you have to exercise them. He cannot do these things for you. When you start realizing that your, let's say, American political scheme, the Democrats, the democratic freaks, are not your opponents anymore, because they have absolutely non-humane behavior towards you, let's say Republican, or any kind of human who lives in the United States. So when you realize that you don't have to even deal with them, you just crush them with the truth and bring out the truth no matter what. With this, you're not competing, you're just a bringer of the light. You bring light with every action of yours. You bring light with every word of yours, with every video if you do videos, with every creation that you do. This is what we are. We are creators who have been abducted. And these abductions by so-called aliens are happening not only in the movies, that the ship comes down and take you, into the ship and then rape you in all different, ways until Sunday. No. You've been raped by your own government because you treat it as your leader or your owner. Your banks are raping you every single second until you say that's enough. Your agencies, insurance agencies, real estate agencies, CIA agencies, medical agencies, and so on, like, they're raping you day and night. They are raping you out of your humanity. And what is the main particle in their approach? They're always treating you as imperfect. You're always telling you what you have to do a bit more so you'll be perfect, or you'll try to reach the perfection. Only if you win, let's say in tennis, 10 grand, whatever, these tournaments, then you'll be a #1 player. Who cares? You know how much raping these poor souls have to go through? How much of the absolutely ludicrous training? They rarely, if you see once or twice in the history of tennis, that you see rarely some of these beings are enjoying what they're doing. They're becoming a robotized, transgender, transgenetic, manipulated machines who just run left and right, sometimes go forward and then go back again, and then left and right. Ridiculous. Basketball. From one court to another, throw. If somebody's better than you, you give yourself to addictions because you're not #1 NBA player in the world. Really, who cares if your imperfections are so perfect? If your imperfections in your behavior doesn't hurt another human being? Who cares how you look? Who cares how you write or sing or do any kind of work or art that it doesn't hurt anybody else? Who cares how much money you can earn through your fake jobs or fake schools? The only one who cares, it's you. So the only one who can stop caring for these fake instances of fame or glory or being first is you. That you can decide not to be involved with this anymore. And your stress level will go down, your psychosis will disappear, and you'll become truly physically, emotionally, and mentally healthy or healthier. Because this is a very long and treacherous process to recognize every single ways that we have been subdued, that we have been subjugated, that we have been tricked into competing. Siblings are competing between each other. From the day one they are born, twins, identical, they look the same, yet the parent has to bring a wedge between them. No. You cannot be a pure and clean human as you were born. But you have to become a nasty little brats and then nasty and very dangerous teenagers who will do everything to satisfy their needs or wants. Where is the end to this competition? Who is the most responsible creature on this planet for your own competitive nature? It's you. It's only you and nobody but you. So, get yourself out of your ass, competitive ass, and start farting butterflies. For real. And not caring if your butterfly smells to somebody else. You don't care because you know you farted a butterfly. So enjoy your butterflies.